Right, going over Fangoria. So now it's something with I like. I don't remember this film Revenge. I think I was talking about this more. This is the one I think that was shot in Morocco. With that film, it was like I Spit on Your Grave, except it was against, I think, men that look like me instead of the men that you actually have in that part of the world, which really, really isn't that. Who's doing what to whom is always. It used to be who's doing what to whom is the crux of it. Now it's who is doing what to whom that you're allowed to see. On the eve of Me Too, as a feminist subversion of rape revenge storytelling. This is I guess I'm not even looking at her name. The male gaze. She confronts the male gaze associated with the subgenre and stabs her through the eye socket. You go, girl. I just love this. I became conscious of the feminist discourse I was starting to articulate in my films that I had within me unconsciously. Yeah, I'm sure it was unconscious, but when you become interested in feminism, it's crazy. It's discover how much everything is related. How the male gaze has built all these inequalities. The way society still pushes women to the side. I've always been struck by how powerful and violent that is. Yeah, when you get interested in feminism, everything is the male gaze. Man, fuck. Yeah, there you go. It's like, wear your mask, do your duty, do your job, follow the power. Yeah. And what was it, J Horror? I didn't, the guy. J Horror was great. I don't know anything with this. Apparently, this guy's films are mostly still in Japan. So, but J Horror, man, you gotta say, man, the best time was the 2000s, but really good J Horror still hits you, especially coming from what you would say is an alien culture. Right? So now the Terrifier. I'm not gonna say much. There's not, in terms of Terrifier, you know what you're getting into with this. Man, I can't wait to see it. Yeah. Man, oh yeah. It's friggin'. It's interesting too. I like how Sienna, now the final girl. Now, you go on. It's like, the interview here is cool. They actually, and they did this in the last issue, which I think is a good thing. Fango, I'm giving you credit. Where they have the actors interviewing each other in the film, or in the case of like the last one, Nick Cage was interviewing Osgood Perkins, the director. So they have them, David Thornton, obviously, who plays Art, and her, kind of interviewing each other. I thought that was cool. And Lauren Lavera, yeah, she's a cutie, and she's a good heroine. Okay, she goes through hell. Okay, she gets her ass kicked. She has to grow. She suffers a lot. In this third film, she's in a bad shape in her head, and her brother too. So, and real quick, and I'm not taking anything away from, of course, her, but notice how when they talk about this film, okay, since we live in a patriarchal society and the male gaze and everything is the gaze and and the males and the toxic, the brother, right, the geeky brother, right, the younger dude, who actually figures out the connection. Right? He's not a fighter like his older sister, but notice how you never hear anything mentioned about him, in the film, right? Right? Because we live in the patriarchy, right? No one gives a fuck about the kid, right? No one gives a fuck about him, because the 97% of men, nobody gives a fuck about you, lady. Okay, just my little 2 cents. So unless you grab the power or you're this or that, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody helps you, except your brothers and your comrades, and you don't want that, and families, and you don't want that. So anyway, enough. But I don't want to put that in the Terrifier. So Terrifier is good stuff. What's this? Oh come! Oh, they made a prequel to Rosemary's. Please, you must stop. No, you must stop. I tell you, if you want to gag, man, I listened to the podcast that Anja has with her friends, and they were loving this 2018 Suspiria, which is just amazing. It's like, how could you remake Suspiria? Sacrilege. Oh, and Halle Berry. Okay, she's getting older. She was hot, man. I thought she was hot back in the day. I'm not gonna lie. And this sounds like an interesting film, okay? But you say, oh, you're doing the horror stuff because your career is over, whatever. So, And it was interesting too, the horror films that she liked, man. Because she was, I mean, like in the late 80s, early 90s, man, she was hot, man. That whole New Jack Swing time. I saw her in films, man. She was fucking hot, bro. Anyway, Freddie, okay, going over Freddie. You know, look at Robert Englund. I mean, the guy is sort of like the surviving, you know, I mean, Lee, all of them are gone now. You know, Cushing, Price. Him, I guess you could say Brad Dourif too. Like these are sort of like the horror actors that are kind of left now. And he was always great, man. Robert Englund was really cool. So going over it, and going through Freddie, you know, basically going over Wes Craven. That was interesting how Wes Craven had a little different backgrounds. Wes Craven had no interest in horror movies, unlike many of his filmmaking peers. He wasn't a monster kid. I always bring up the monster kid. He didn't grow up on movie culture. He barely watched movies at all until he was in his early 20s. Really? Yeah, weird. Because one of his first films was a porno. Remember her? Heather, she was cute. She was cute. Tough final girl. Right? He kept the dream journal like Lovecraft. Now, the funny thing here, right? I don't know. Maybe this is the Mandela effect. I don't know. Call me nuts. I can't even remember why I thought this. Right? And they're talking about Robert Englund. You know, grew up in California, right? Inspiration from Klaus Kinski's Nosferatu. He worked with Andrew Preen. Remember him? He was on V, right? He was Willie, right? Willie was the friendly V, right? He was the good alien. And you know, apparently, why did I think he? I know you get. Why did I think he was gay? I always heard that he was gay, but the dude was like a surfer and is like had like 3 marriages and what have you. I swore he was gay. I know you're like, what are you going on about that? I don't know. They keep mentioning this Mandela effect, where things that you thought, all of a sudden it was never like that. So, whatever. He's like, yo, what's your problem? You want me to be gay? I'll fucking slash you up. Nah, man. Also, we're thinking of that. Probably because we're thinking of that second film. I remember when that came out. I was too young to see it. I watched it years later at Monster Mania with my friend in Cherry Hill. We watched it and I was like, oh man, dude, that movie was gay, yo. Yo, and it's just funny. Let me get over there, right? And nobody cares about a final boy because nobody cares what happens to a man. I say it again. So, no, it doesn't. You're not supposed to whine about it. It's supposed to make you tougher, right? Look at look at the sculpture work here. Even films I don't really care about, you just see the artistry in this. There's nothing like, oh, I can make this in a computer. Yeah, okay, I can make it with AI. There's nothing like this, man. There's nothing like the artisanal. There's a lot of guys that can, and girls. Right? There's a lot of people that can do that. Oh, remember Tales from the Dark Side, that movie? Remember that? And look at Kurtzman, young. So what a film that was, but. And yeah, they had, all right, Del Toro, okay. He has good monsters in his films. That's why you wonder why the films are better. And anything else? Oh, just to round this out, Scooter McCrae. I had mentioned Shattered Dead, right? And 16 Tones. I saw 16 Tones. I actually saw it in the Two Boots Theater in the Village, way back in a different time. So apparently he's been making movies again, Scooter, and something called Black Eye Souza. So now the movie covers a lot of bases. There's toxic masculinity and issues of abuses and consent. Now I had mentioned, there he is. I had met Scooter. He was always cool. I thought he was always cool. He was a cool guy. So left wing guy, but I like Shattered Dead a lot. But Shattered Dead was like 1989 to 91. It was shot. So. And the technology now that you can film with this is in your range. I think he shot on a 16mm film. That's interesting. The fact from Betacams, which were expensive to rent, to 16mm, it's amazing now the guy can make films. And the thing that's cool is that he has a friendship with one of the greatest Italian composers, Fabio Frizzi. Fabio Frizzi is amazing. So Goblin, you think of all these dudes, but Fabio Frizzi is just. He really got the I think he really nailed the combination of like the electronic music and like the gothic sort of horror feel in a way that no other Italian composer has. So good for him. Good for Scooter, man. So And here's another one about a guy making a film. But I mean, like, you know, I mean, do you want? I mean, do you want every other guy, every other white man looks like this dude now? Do we need to see more of this? Oh, and then the weird thing about alligators. Now, when I read this woman, she did not see one of the greatest alligator films. She didn't mention it, but luckily they did. The Great Alligator, right, or the Great Alligator River. What a nasty film, Italian film, man. Holy crap. So, and meanwhile, like I said, in Florida, when I'm in Florida, I actually live near an area, or where I stay is an area near a lot of alligators. And the funny thing about them is that in the day, you're fine. They don't bother you. You can canoe next to them. I mean, if you grab the thing, it's gonna bite you, and I'll probably help it bite you. But for the most part, you know, during the day, they're just chilling out in the sun. When the sun goes down, you notice all the birds and everything. They go up in the trees. Okay, and then you better watch your ass. So, but otherwise, you know, let's hear it for the dinosaurs that survived, which is essentially what alligators and crocodiles are. Anything else to round this out? Nah, not particularly. You have, of course, the brave, stunning and brave, you know, book reviews. You know, it's amazing. Well, look at this. Did you know that a good Catholic girl sheltered, ashamed, and choked by sinful feelings, right? And there's a virus that goes around that makes people kind of like that crossed comic by Ennis, where like everyone becomes like sexual maniacs. But then you have the Crusaders, the religious group who believes the virus is a cleansing. So I mean, this may have been an original idea in the 80s. Like I keep bringing up Grendel, you know, when the Catholic Church was ruling America and that thing. But man, this is so tired and old already. We just stop. There's other things. There's other religions that rule us. Let's say, and it's not the one you're thinking of. I'm not stupid. I mean, it is the one you're thinking of, but it's not. I'm not referring to that. Anyway, and the Tom Savini school is still going on. And Savini supposedly is in this, man. Let's hear it, man. That's fucking Damian Leone, right? Getting, you know, I think he's from Philly, getting Savini in that. That's like, and because Damian was a special effects guy, so I love that. I love how that stuff comes together, man. All right, let's man. Is it Halloween over yet?